If a horse, an animal that eats almost anything green, refuses to touch a plant, why would you let its oil flood your body every single day? The next time you see that golden liquid sliding across your frying pan, stop for a second. Look at it. Smell it. Because the story behind that innocent-looking oil is not what you think. It's not the story of health, purity, or progress. It's a story of war machines, industrial waste, genetic manipulation, and one of the brilliant and dangerous marketing campaigns in human history. It all began with a plant called rapeseed. And yes, the name is as ugly as its truth. Rapeseed wasn't grown to nourish humans. It wasn't even grown to feed animals. In fact, it couldn't. For centuries, farmers avoided feeding it to livestock because it made them sick. Nature made this plant bitter and toxic for a reason. Its seeds were loaded with compounds called glucosinolates, natural pesticides that repel insects, and erucic acid, a fat linked to thickened heart muscle and organ damage in animal studies. It wasn't food. It was a chemical weapon in nature's arsenal. Horses wouldn't eat it, bugs avoided it, and that should have been the end of the story. But then came the war. World War II needed machines, and machines needed oil. Rapeseed oil became the perfect industrial lubricant for naval engines thanks to its ability to cling to metal in extreme conditions. Picture this. Giant warships slicing through icy waters, their engines running smooth, thanks to this bitter little seed. Rapeseed wasn't born in a farm kitchen. It was born in factories and war machines. It flowed through gears, not through arteries. And then the war ended, and suddenly, mountains of rapeseed sat in silos with nowhere to go. The demand for industrial lubricants collapsed. The farmers had fields of a crop no one wanted to eat and no engine needed anymore. What do you do when you have a useless plant and billions of dollars on the line? You reinvent it. Enter the food industry, the same masterminds who turned corn into syrup and powder into cheese. They saw an opportunity. All they needed was science, or something that looked like science. In the late 1970s, Canadian plant breeders genetically altered rapeseed to lower its erucic acid and strip away the bitter glucosinolates, so it wouldn't taste like poison. And then they performed the greatest PR move in food history. They buried its past under a shiny new name. Rapeseed became canola, short for Canadian oil low acid. Doesn't that sound friendly? Like a sunflower's clean-cut cousin? They didn't change its essence. They changed its costume. They didn't discover a miracle oil. They engineered a marketing miracle. But the makeover didn't stop there, because no matter how you breed it, canola oil, still had a problem. It looked like engine grease and smelled worse. So they had to bleach it, they had to deodorize it, they had to strip it and polish it until it looked like something you'd dare to pour on your salad. And that process? It's nothing like the romantic commercials of sunlit fields and gentle pressing. No, to make canola oil, you start by crushing the seeds under high pressure, blasting them with heat, and bathing them in hexane, a chemical solvent derived from petroleum. That's right, the same stuff used in glue and gasoline extraction. Then you boil it again, bleach it to remove its grayish color, and finally deodorize it to mask the rancid stench created by all that refining. You know what they called this final step in the industry? Polishing the turd. But the worst part? That deodorization process creates something they swore they got rid of: trans fats. The very fats they told us would kill us. And guess what? They're still in there. Legally, they can claim zero trans fat on the label because the amount per serving is below the reporting threshold. But in reality, you're eating them every single time. Zero doesn't mean zero. It means zero we care to count. And through all this, the marketing machine roared to life. But to sell the lie, they needed a villain. So they created one: saturated fat. For decades, we were told butter would kill us, that lard was public enemy number one. They showed us clogged arteries and heart attacks, blamed on the very fats that built human civilization. They demonized butter while glorifying an industrial chemical. And people believed it. They trusted the headlines. They trusted the doctors on payroll. They trusted the government agencies that cashed the industry checks. The American Heart Association? Bought and paid for. Governments writing dietary guidelines funded by the very companies selling the oil. Science didn't confirm canola was healthy. Industry paid to make it look that way. And if you think this is just a historical scandal, think again. Today, canola oil is everywhere. It's in your healthy salad dressing. It's in your protein bars. It's in your baby formula. It's in almost every processed food in the supermarket. And here's why no one talks about it, because if canola oil disappears, half the supermarket dies. Let that sink in. This isn't just an ingredient. It's an economic lifeline for the processed food industry. It's cheap, it's shelf-stable, and it keeps the machine running. That's why you'll never see the truth on a billboard, because the moment you pull the plug on canola, the entire empire of ultra-processed garbage starts to crumble. And let's talk about what happens inside you, because this isn't just a matter of empty calories. Canola oil doesn't just sit in your pantry, it becomes part of you. It gets built into your cells. Literally, the fat in your cell membranes, that's your body's armor. And when you replace natural, stable fats with industry polyunsaturated fats, you weaken that armor. Your cells become fragile, inflamed, and vulnerable to oxidative stress. This isn't about cholesterol. This is about structural integrity at the microscopic level. And it doesn't stop there. These damaged membranes affect how your neurons fire. They mess with your neurotransmitters. They alter the way your brain communicates with itself. Studies now link chronic consumption of canola oil with memory loss, cognitive decline, and neurodegenerative disease. Alzheimer's? Dementia? It's not just bad luck. It's a diet problem. And if that doesn't scare you, here's something else. Fertility. That same disruption to cell membranes, it affects your reproductive system. Hormones ride on fats. Your endocrine system depends on lipid signaling. When you flood your body with unstable, rancid oils, you don't just change your metabolism, you hijack your hormonal balance. Infertility, testosterone collapse, polycystic ovarian syndrome, it's all connected. These oils act like metabolic disruptors, endocrine wrecking balls. You think you're cooking a light dinner. In reality, you're programming your biology for failure. Still think I'm exaggerating? Horses won't eat rapeseed. Bugs avoid it. Nature gave us the answer. We just didn't listen. We trusted the commercials, the glossy ads, the heart-healthy labels. And now, decades later, we're drowning in obesity, diabetes, infertility, depression, cognitive decay, and a pharmaceutical dependence so massive it's practically a new religion. So here's the truth. Every drop of canola oil you pour into your pan is a victory for an industry, not for your health. Real food doesn't need a rebrand. Butter never needed a press release. Ghee never had to buy ad space during the Super Bowl. The foods that sustained humanity for millennia don't come with lab reports and slogans. They just work. So if you care about your body, your mind, and your future, ditch the bottle of lies and go back to what your ancestors trusted. Your cells will thank you. Your brain will thank you. Your unborn children will thank you. Because real food doesn't need marketing.